Ito ang inyong lingkod na nagbabalik upang magbigay ng mga balitang walang bias at pawang katotohanan lamang. Ito ang Bayang Pinas. Ang isyong ito ay naging usap-usapan sa buong bansa at iba't ibang social media platforms. Isang nakakalulang revelasyon ng bumulaga sa publiko matapos lumabas ang ulat tungkol sa pagkakadiskubre ng umano'y mastermind at protector ng mga kahinahinalang aktibidad na matagal nang bumabalot sa palasyo ng Malacanang. Sa isang hindi inaasahang hakbang, binulgar ng kilalang personalidad o ng unang ginang na si Liza Tanasmags at pati na rin ang tagapagsalita ng mga crocodile na si Tambaloslos Romualdez ang detalye ng kanilang natuklasan. Ayon sa kanilang ulat, nagkaroon umano ng sistematikong pagtatago sa mga anomalya at sabwatan sa loob ng palasyo na pinangungunahan ng isang makapangyarihang individual na mas kilala naman natin na si Presidente Kuting ng Norte at sa mga opisyales sa mataas na antas. Ang naturang pahayag ay naging sanhi ng mga masidhing pagsisiyasat ng mga mamamayan at nagdulot ng matinding kritisismo sa mga institusyon ng paniniwalang sangkot. Marami ang nagtatanong kung paanong napapanatili ang mga ganitong kalakaran sa kabila na patuloy na pangako ng gobyerno na susupuin ng katiwalian. Sa kabila ng ingay sa nadulot ng isyu na nanatiling tikumang bibig ng opisyal ng palasyo ukol dito, sa ngayon hinihintay ng taong bayan ang aksyon mula sa mga kinaukulan upang malinawan ang isyu at mapanagot ang mga sangkot sa anumang mga anomalya. Habang patuloy ang pagsiklab ng usapin, umaasa ang publiko na ang pagsisiwalat na ito ay maging simula ng mas malalim na pagsusuri at pagpapabuti ng sistema upang tuluyang mawala ang anino ng katiwalian sa gobyerno. Well, para nga sa kabuang detalye at impormasyon ay panoorin na lamang ang buong video at salamat na rin sa ating mga solid viewers sa walang sawang pagsuporta. At kung bago pa lamang sa ating channel ay syempre huwag kakalimutan mag-subscribe, pindutin ang notification bell at piliin na rin ang all upang lagi kang maging updated sa mga balitang bago, totoo at walang bias dito sa channel ng Bayan, ang Bayang Pinas. Huwag din pong kakalimutan mag-iwan ng like at i-share ang ating mga videos.
Ng tuluyan dahil nga yun sa kay Bongbong Marcos Kuting, ang Smartmatic ay nandyan sa Pilipinas para mandaya. At ngayon ay siya ay tinalikuran niya na yung laban na yan dahil nga nakipag-sabwatan ang kanyang asawa sa owner ng Smartmatic based sa signed affidavit ni Attorney Glenn Chong. So ngayon mga kaibigan, mainit-init na balita, actually yes, kahapon ay ito ay ibinasura o niligwak ng COMELEC itong loan bidder, okay? Dito sa itong loan bidder, ito basahin natin sa CNN. Loan bidder for 2025 automated polls ineligible, sabi ni COMELEC. So alam naman natin at pinag-usapan na ito namin ni Attorney Glenn Chong na ito talaga yung drama, okay? Ito talaga ang magiging drama nila na iantala and at pagbibigyan pa rin ang Smartmatic. So actually makakasama natin si Attorney Glenn Chong dahil ito ay pinag-usapan namin ng sunod-sunod at ngayon bibigyan tayo ng update. Alright? So, mga kababayan, based sa article at dito ng CNN, ito, basahin ko. The Commission on Elections Special Bids and Awards Committee, or the SBAC, on Thursday declared the lone bidder for the 2025 automated election system ineligible, resulting in the first failure of bidding. So, kaya naman, hindi na natuloy, okay, ang bidding dahil unang-una lone bidder nga lang at inanapan nila ng butas at kulang daw ito sa requirements. Ayan, ito, tignan natin. Mga palangga, nakakagalit talaga dahil ito yung sinasabi ni Attorney Glenn Chong actually na talagang gagawa ng drama ang COMELEC para pasok pa rin nila ang Smartmatic. Ito na si Attorney Glenn Chong. Ayan, mga kababayan. Ayan. Magandang araw. Attorney Glenn, ayan. Salamat at nakabalik ka sa Pilipinas ng safe and sound. Ayan naman. So bumati ka muna at
Thank you,
marami
Ate
rin
Claire.
sa iyo na ating mga kababayan, na makabalik ka ng safe sa Pilipinas dahil lalo ngang matindi ang ating laban.
Thank you, Ate Claire. Ang mga kababayan, ako po ay nagpapasalamat kay Miss Maharlika dahil ngayon is already 2:30 in the morning sa Los Angeles, California. At nakiusap ako sa kanya na let's go live now. Kailangan nating pag-usapan itong kaganapan ng December 14. Ito yung kahapon yata, 15 today. I was still on the plane nung nangyari ito. Just before I left, di ba, nag-live po kami ni Mama Harlika. Maagang-maaga yun doon sa LA kasi malayo yung nilakad namin that day. So, sinabi ko, bantayan natin yung December 14. And while I was on board the plane, kanina na ako dumating ng umaga, ito na nga yung balita na iisa lang ang bidder na nag-participate doon sa bidding. So matandaan po ninyo, Ate Claire, mga kababayan, sinabi ko po na original schedule ng pagbukas ng bid documents dito sa 18.8 billion na kontrata para sa mga makina, sa mga vote counting machines ay end of November. Hindi pa po ako nakalis noon papuntang Amerika. End of November. Kaso, nilipat ng COMELEC, pinagpaliban yon at nilipat to December 12. Ang sabi ni George Garcia, natandaan ko, dati sabi ko walang rason, pero may rason pala ang COMELEC para mas marami daw ang makasali sa bidding process. Kasi yun yung gusto nila, ostensibly, apparently, yun yung pinapakita nila sa atin. Gusto nilang mas marami ang sumali. So, yun yung rason nila. November, end of November, nilipat nila yung deadline for the submission of bids and opening of bids to December 12 para mas marami ang sumali sa bidding process. Pero before that, mga kababayan, sinasabi na palagi ni George Garcia, bukang bibig po niya to, mga 4 o 5 bidders ang sasali. 4 o 5 bidders ang sasali. Kasama doon si Pivot International, si Miro Systems, and then si Smartmatic, then si Dominion Voting Systems, mayroon pang isa. 4 hanggang 5 ang sasali. So, pinangalanan natin. Dominion Voting Systems, partner ni Smartmatic dati. Si Smartmatic, Miro Systems, and then Pivot International. Then, pagka 12, nilipat na naman nila to December 14. Ito yung kahapon, mga kababayan, Ate Claire. Lo and behold, isa na lang ang nag-drop ng bid documents. Mga kababayan, you have the right to know. Ito yung drama nila. It's a very circuitous drama, pero napilitan silang gawin ito dahil maingay tayo. Maingay si Miss Maharlika, maingay akong maingay kayo, mga kababayan. Napilitan silang gumawa ng napaka circuitous na drama na maraming pasakalye dahil at the end of the day, gusto nilang ibigay kay Smartmatic yung kontrata, 18.8 billion. Kaya ibubulgar natin to sa publiko, sa inyo. Kaya magkasama kami ni Ate Claire para malaman po ninyo ito. Anyway, matraffic masyado sa Metro Manila ngayon. So habang nandiyan kayo sa inyong sasakyan, better make use of the time. Listen to us, what we have to say, para you will know, alam ninyo itong drama ng Smartmatic at COMELEC. So, eto na. Sabi ni George Garcia, 4-5 ang bidders na sasali sa bidding process. November, end of November, nilipat to December 12, nilipat to December 14. Ito yung kahapon. Ito yung final deadline. Hindi na po nila malipat pa. Kasi maingay nga tayo. Inaantay nila ang TRO ng Supreme Court para mabuksan pati ang bidding documents ni Smartmatic. And lo and behold, si Smartmatic ang papanalunin. So, kaya mga kababayan, I think clear, hindi na nila pwedeng i-postpone kasi pangatlong postponement na yan. End of November, December 12, December 14. Nakakahiya na masyado. Ang ingay-ingay natin. So, gumawa na naman sila ng ibang eksena. Ibang, kumbaga, drama Plan A, Plan B. Oh. So,
Attorney,
sige po.
Sorry, Attorney Glenn, ang sinasabing dahilan ng COMELEC kaya daw naging hindi kumbaga ineligible itong Miro system, ito yung loan leader, dahil kulang daw po sa English translation. Ang sabi dito, the SBAC said supporting documents of bid proposal lack English translation in the statement or single largest completed contract, and that it had an incomplete undertaking to enter into a joint venture. So ano po ang ibig sabihin niya? Anong ibig sabihin niyan, brother?
Sige, Ate Claire, mga kababayan, pag-usapan natin yan. Dito muna tayo sa 4 na bidder. Isa-isahin natin to para masundan po ninyo yung drama ni Smartmatic at COMELEC. Ulitin ko, original dropping of the bids, deadline ng submission of bid documents, and then opening of the bids end of November. End of November na disqualify si Smartmatic. Kailangan nila ng panahon para tumakbo sa Korte Suprema at humingi ng TRO or writ of injunction. So, nilipat nila to December 12. Kulang pa rin. Kasi December 11 nag-file si Smartmatic. December 11 or December 10. December 10 na nakapag-file si Smartmatic ng petition for certiorari with application, very urgent application for temporary restraining order or injunction. So, December 10 na sila nakapag-file. Inayos pa nila kasi November 29 na disqualify si Smartmatic. So, it took them almost 2 weeks para ayusin nila yung petition nila. Gahol na sa oras. Hindi mabibigyan ng TRO on time. Nilipat na naman ni COMELEC from December 12 to December 14. Ang gagawin naman ng Korte Suprema dyan, pasasagutin si COMELEC. Pasasagutin sila petitioner, sila General Rio, Kernel Odonio, Frank Isaac, si Gas Dagman. Walang oras, 4 na araw. It cannot be done. So, hindi na pwedeng ilipat pa ni Smartmatic ni COMELEC yung deadline. Kasi obvious na. Very evident. So, hindi na nila pwede. So, kaya gumawa na naman sila ng ibang paraan. Mag-failure of bidding tayo. Mag-failure of bidding tayo. So, dito na tayo. Ito na ha.
Failure of bidding.
Hindi na nila mahabol yung TRO. Kasi December 10 na nag-file ng certiorari si Smartmatic. 12 ang deadline. Nilipat nila to December 14, hindi pa rin kaya. Walang TRO lumabas. So, bibigyan nila ng time. Ang time ay hanggang January 2024. So, mataas pa ang panahon, 1 buwan. So, binibigyan talaga nila si Smartmatic ng time. Now, dito tayo sa 4 na bidder. Sabi ni George Garcia, mga kababayan, binabandila niya. 4-5 ang bidders na mag-join. Pinupospone namin para mas marami pa ang mag-join. Wala namang nag-join, ang 4 pa rin. Bakit on the day, December 14, nawala yung 2? Kasi 3, 4. Si Smartmatic tanggalin na natin kasi disqualified. So, natira 3. Pivot International, Dominion Voting Systems, at si Miro Systems. Okay, 3 ang natira. Bakit sa araw na yun, isa na lang ang naghulog ng bid? Ang Miro Systems na lang. And mind you, mga kababayan, biglang nawala si Dominion Voting System na partner ni Smartmatic dati sa 2010-2013 elections. Biglang naglaho na parang bula si Dominion Voting Systems, at ito ang sinabi ni Pivot International. Nag-attempt daw sila na sumali sa bidding. But later, they deemed it inappropriate to offer a bid. Walang kwenta yung withdrawal nila. They deemed it inappropriate to offer a bid. Bakit inappropriate to offer a bid? 18.8 billion pesos ang kontratang pinag-uusapan natin. 18. Kahit sinong kumpanya, mga kababayan, hindi palalagpasin ang 18.8 billion pesos na kontrata. Kung gusto mo talagang manalo, maliban na lang kung nagpabenta ka. Nagpasettle ka. So, I find the reason ni Pivot International to deem it inappropriate to offer a bid. In the first place, ba't ka nag-participate? Pumunta ka doon sa, meron niyang parang parang conference, pre-bid conference. Meron niyang pre-bid conference eh. Lahat ng prospective bidder, pumunta kayo sa COMELEC, pag-usapan natin itong kontratang ito. Pumunta kayo doon. Nag-express kayo ng interest that you will join it. Suddenly, we deemed it inappropriate to offer a bid. So questionable yun. Nawala din si Dominion Voting Systems. Ang natira, si Miro. Bakit, mga kababayan? Exactly, i-disqualify si Miro para magkaroon ng failure of bidding. Bakit? Kung tatlo ang nag-join, mga kababayan, walang failure of bidding dyan. Tuloy-tuloy ang bidding process. So, kailangan mag-withdraw ang dalawa para isa na lang ang matira, then disqualify, then failure of bidding. Yan ang drama, mga kababayan. Because we do not find it plausible. I mean, hindi makapanipaniwala that Pivot International would suddenly withdraw and deem it inappropriate to offer a bid. Sumali kayo dun sa pre-bid conference. And then, ano na lang yung kwenta ng pinagbabandila ni George Garcia dyan na mag-bid si Dominion, mag-bid si Pivot International, mag-bid si Miro. Pagdating ng December 14, naglaho yung dalawa na parang bula. Huwag mo na i-computein si Smartmatic kasi disqualified. So, ang reading ko dyan, mga kababayan, Ate Claire, ang reading ko dyan, pina-withdraw yung dalawa. Huwag na kayong sumali. Doon na kayo sumali uli sa next round.
So parang kasabwat din si Pivot International at saka si Dominion.
Ay walang rason eh.
Yeah.
Hindi ka paniwala yung sasabihin mo lang, we deem it inappropriate to offer a bid.
Yeah,
o labasa din. So nawala yung dalawa, so ang natira isa na lang. Mga kababayan, ibang usapan kung tatlo ang bid documents na hinulog. Kung naghulog si Dominion Voting Systems, naghulog si Pivot International at si Miro Systems ng kanilang bid documents, all of them will be scrutinized. And kung sakali itong nangyari, si Miro System disqualified, meron pang alternative.
Dalawa.
Si Pivot International o si Dominion. But exclusively, walang kasali si Smartmatic dahil walang TRO at this time.
Hindi siya
So,
sumali.
parang sinadya, umalis kayo dyan, huwag kayo sumali, isa lang ang maghulog. So isa lang naghulog si Miro Systems kahapon. And how? Now, dito na tayo.
Consult you on this matter, being the HR department head?
Honestly, no sir. Yung qualifications to become para magtaas advancer kung kinonsult ako ni Gov,
Yes, ma'am.
hindi po sir.
Kasi ang usapin dyan, kinonsulta ni Governor yung treasurer, and then kinonsulta ka rin kung sino ang pwedeng mag-cash advance. So the information that we had is not true.
Na kinonsulta po ako ni
Yes,
Governor.
ma'am.
Hindi, I do not remember, sir. I do not remember any moment that he asked me kung sino ang mga qualified na mag-cash advance po.
Okay. Ma'am Natividad,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
hanggang ngayon, tatrabaho ka pa sa probinsya ng Cagayan?
Yes, sir. I was hired as the consultant on HR to the
So,
Governor.
Through memorandum of agreement. So you are no longer an employee of the province of Cagayan, but through an agreement, you become a consultant of the office of the governor, I suppose.
Yes, Your Honor.
Since when you become a consultant of the office of the governor? If you can recall.
If my memory serves me right, July. I think it's July of 2022, sir.
July of 2022.
If my memory serves me right.
Before of July 2022, You were an employee of the province of Cagayan,
Yes, sir. Up to May 18 po. May 18, 2020.
2022. And
Yes.
what position, ma'am?
The provincial government department head po sa HR po.
Okay. So you are the department head
Yes, Your Honor.
from up to May 18, 2022, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you become the consultant on July 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So there was an election on May 2022, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then what is your participation, if there is any?
Well, I do not remember any participation in the election, sir, because I am a government employee, and then a government employee should be non-partisan.
Okay. So May 9, 2022 was the election day, and you retired from being a department head, HR of the province, 9 days after the of May 2022, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Prior to your retirement, do you know this Helen Donato?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the position of Helen Donato in the province of Cagayan?
Ms. Donato is the Provincial Social Worker Development Officer po, the department head of the Provincial Social Welfare Office po.
This Mila Malonga,
I know her, sir.
Mamba Manuel,
I know him too, sir.
Maria Anita Obispo,
Yes, sir. I know her.
Vita Vergara,
I know them.
you know this Rosel Bungkad.
Yes, sir.
So, Amelia Manalo,
Yes, sir. I know.
Christine Reyes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I know her.
What is common on the above name I mentioned to you? If you have knowledge, ma'am, Natividad.
They are all holders of second level positions, sir.
Okay? Because they are holders of second level positions, are they allowed to receive cash advances? Do you know this one?
I am not in position to answer that, sir, because totoo lang, hindi ko po alam, sir, kung qualified silang mag-cash advance.
So the office of the governor, or the governor himself, did not consult you on this matter, being the HR department head.
Honestly, no, sir. Yung qualifications to become para mag-cash advance, sir, kung kinonsult ako ni Gov,
Yes, ma'am.
hindi po, sir.
Kasi ang usapin dyan, kinonsulta ni governor yung treasurer, and then kinonsulta ka rin kung sino ang pwedeng mag-cash advance. So the information that we had is not true.
Na kinonsulta po ako ni
Yes,
Governor.
ma'am.
I do not remember, sir. I do not remember any moment that he asked me kung sino ang mga qualified na mag-cash advance po.
Okay. So thank you, ma'am, Natividad. Now,
Thank you too, sir.
I would like to go to the COA if, sir, ano ba yung policy natin when an employee of an LGU has the authority to receive cash advances? What are the qualifications?
First, they should be banded, sir. They should be banded, and they should and their position requires them to have possession of money or property, sir. And if in some cases, sir, they can be designated by the LCE to be designated as special dispersing officer, sir.
Okay, so
And
we
they
have,
must be permanent employees, sir.
so we have three,
They must be
or we have
permanent.
four.
Yes, sir.
One, permanent employee.
Yes, sir.
Second, salary grade. Of course, there are brackets
There is no provision, I think, in the rules, Your Honor, that salary grade is considered, Your Honor.
So permanent employee,
Yes, Your Honor.
permanent employee, banded, and at
Yes.
the same time, the last, what was the last?
If they are not,
LCE, who will
Yeah.
determine it?
yes, Your Honor, they can
Now,
be.
Were you able to conduct an audit or investigation? Who among those who receive cash advances qualified to receive such? Like, for example, I have a copy of the names of the employees of the province of Cagayan who were designated by the LCE to receive cash advances. Were you able to audit them? And what was your finding, if there is any?
Sir, we have submitted the findings to the committee, and the findings were that some of them were not funded, sir, and most of them did not liquidate their cash advances, and then their cash advances were more than their cash accountability, sir, and those findings were included in our notice of disallowance that we issued, Your Honor.
Okay, I will call your attention on this Helen Donato. What is your finding on this one, Helen Donato?
Sir, allow me just to
Yes, sir.
translate it.
Yes, sir.
While the COA is still looking at the official documents, let me inform the members that during the previous hearing, yung tatlong accountable officers that was questioned by this committee already admitted that they don't have the capacity to pay. No? Ibang usapin pa yun yung question of are they funded? Pero ang na-establish nung nakaraan is that all of them admitted that they don't have the capacity to pay just in case. And now, it is now established that most of them have been issued the notice of disallowances. Ito ngayon yung mamayang tanong, no? Kaya please proceed dun sa question ni Congressman Gonzaga.
For Ms. Donato, sir, the finding was at the time of cash advance, there was no approved fidelity bond, sir. And likewise, the amount of the cash advance was more than the maximum accountability, sir.
So, thank you for your candid answer. And this one is included in your notice of disallowance.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when was what was the date of issuance of your notice of disallowance?
Sir, if my memory serves me right, I think the first set of disallowance was issued in July 17, 2023, Your Honor.
Saan na belong si Helen Donato sa first notice of disallowance mo?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
So, July to December, 6 months for Helen Donato to ask for motion for reconsideration not to be included in your notice of disallowance, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, humingi ba si Helen Donato ng reconsideration being one of those included in your notice of disallowances?
As of today, sir, I think hindi po, sir.
So, nung hindi siya humingi, naging final and executory yung notice of disallowances ninyo. What is now the action of COA against this one, Helen Donato?
Hindi pa po, sir, because they are given 6 months.
Kaya nga, 6 months nga. July to December, 6 months yan.
Hindi pa. I think
Sorry.
January po, sir. Mag-expire yung 6-month period, sir.
So, until now, wala pa siyang reconsideration for you to exclude her from the notice of disallowance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is Helen Donato here? Ikaw po, ma'am. Okay po. I will get back to you, Mr. COA. Ma'am Helen, I'm sorry, did not notice you. The COA said, ang sabi ni COA, hindi ka raw banded. Is it true?
Yes, sir. Kasi nag-expire na po yung fidelity bond ko po.
So you were not bonded from January 1 to March 24, 2022.
I cannot remember kung yun yung date, sir, ng
Kailan
last
nag-expire yung bond mo? Fidelity bond mo?
one. Kailan ba? I cannot remember, sir.
You cannot remember. Oh. So, nung tinanggap mo yung pera, cash advance, anong tingin mo? In good faith kang tumanggap dahil akala mong banded ka? O,
In
Tina-
good faith, sir.
ha?
In good faith, sir.
In good faith? Bakit?
I cash advance and then disburse and then yung mga naiwan, sir, isinoli po. Meron naman kaming documents.
Kailan ka nag-apply ng fidelity bond mo? Di mo rin maalala. So, sinong pwedeng magbigay sa atin ng data dyan? Kasi na ma'am, hindi lang ikaw yung may notice of disallowances, ang dami ninyo. Pero this is the position of the committee, as member of the committee, hindi ka makakalabas sa notice of disallowance na yan kung hindi rin mo ma-prove yung innocence mo or yung in good faith mo. Kaya kailangan makita namin kailan ka nag-apply ng fidelity bond mo, kailan nag-expire yung fidelity bond mo, whether or not alam mo na wala ka ng bond, tinanggap mo pa rin yung cash advance, at pangalawa, sumobra yung pera na dapat dapat po allowed lang sa inyo. So, ang presumption po niyan, talagang hindi kayo in good faith because you did nothing. Wala kang ginawa para ma-isolate ka o ma-exclude ka sa notice of disallowance. Kaya ikaw yung una kong tinanong kasi ang dami-dami nyo rito. Tanong, ma'am, sabi mo in good faith ka.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Nung tinanggap mo ba yung pera, 6.4 million na cash advances, hindi ka ba nagtaka na kalaki-laki na pera na yan at hindi ka ba nagtanong sa sarili mo na sobra yung pera na tinanggap mo as cash advance doon sa fidelity bond mo na may limitasyon po?
Actually, sir, ang talagang hindi ko alam kung ano yung limitation doon sa mga cash advances kasi namin po. So, I was not informed. So, ang okay lang sa akin na mag-receive, mag-liquidate, yun naman lang. Magbigay ng
Wala ka bang orientation seminar before you submitted yourself or paid the fidelity bond? Hindi mo alam yan?
Yes, sir.
Parang hindi ka panipaniwala yan, Ma'am Helen, ha?
And in honesty, sir, talaga.
Congressman Gonzaga, if I may just interject. Miss Helen Donato, I have here the records of your fidelity bond, and the last time your fidelity bond was effective was only on December 2020. Do you know that? Can you answer for the record if you know that?
As per record, sir, siguro yes.
Okay. So in the year 2021, wala kang fidelity bond.
None.
In the year 2022, wala kang fidelity bond.
Meron dito. No, siguro wala, sir.
Wala. Yet
I cannot remember.
you still claim that in good faith, you accepted the cash advance and disbursed the cash advance, knowing fully well na 2 years have passed na wala kang fidelity bond.
Yes,
Answer.
sir.
Yes. So can you still claim good faith na 2 taon ka na walang fidelity bond? At tinanggap mo pa rin yung pera para i-cash advance?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You're still claiming good faith.
Yes. In my own opinion, sir, it's a good faith in my part.
Good faith. Now, that you know that the COA has already issued a notice of disallowance, how are you supposed to pay it back to the government without a fidelity bond?
I cannot pay.
You cannot pay it. And isn't that the purpose of the fidelity bond? That supposedly government employees can only disburse cash if they are duly bonded. And the purpose of the bond is to answer for the cash advances just in case COA, as in this case, disallows that cash advance. Yes? Can you answer clearly, ano? Just don't nod your head, say yes or no, or...
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Now, how are you going to pay it back, Ms. Donato?
I cannot pay it, sir. Kung may manawala.
But you just heard COA say na he issued a notice of disallowance.
Sagutin ko na lang yun, sir, yung notice of disallowance.
Sagutin mo na lang. Okay. So, ako I mean, it's very unfair on the part of government employees na parang fully well na hindi ka na-banded eh. Alam mo, 2 taon na lumipas eh. Diba? Tapos yet you still accepted that cash advance to supposedly disburse it to people. And you can no longer claim good faith eh. Kasi 2 taon siguro, pag 3 months lang or 2 weeks lang lumipas, okay lang. Diba? Kasi nakaligtaan lang or you forgot about it. 2 years. How can you claim good faith? How can you let people understand that you are acting in the full belief that you still had coverage to pay for or reimburse the government just in case the COA, in this case, disallows that cash advance? You're doing a disservice to the people of Cagayan. Now, who directed you or who ordered you to make that cash advance and to disburse that money? Sino nag-order sa inyo? Ms. Donato, do not look at your other companions. I'm asking you. Money did just not fall on your lap and then you end up disbursing it. Diba? It told you to get that money and to distribute it. Who told you? Who directed you to do that? Do not look at other persons, Ms. Donato. I'm asking you.
Somebody from the finance concern.
Sino nga?
Treasurer.
The treasurer, Ms. Mila Malyonga. Siya ang nag-direct sa inyo na kunin mo tong cash advance at ipamigay mo sa mga tao na identified naman.
Ako kasi ang head ng office na implementing office kasi.
You are the head of the implementing office. So it was under the directions of Ms. Mila Malyonga for you to do that. Correct? Thank you. Thank you, Attorney. Congressman Gonzaga.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sir, may I?
Wait, for a while, ma'am. Ma'am Helen, alam mo naman, sa tingin ko wala ka naman talagang intensyon na